is Busayo, and I'm speaking on the topic, self-love. Self-love is simply the act of gaining an appreciation for yourself, both mentally, physically, and emotionally. It is valuing yourself, showing concern, and care for yourself. Today, I'm going to be speaking on the 6 steps to self-love. Number 1, forgive yourself. There are times where you make mistakes, and anytime you remember that mistake, you wallow in regret. You wish you could turn back the hands of time in order to do something different, but you can't. Albert Einstein once said that anyone who has not made a mistake hasn't learned something new. So making mistakes are normal. Acknowledge your mistake, learn from it, forgive yourself, and move on. Number 2, appreciate your little effort. If you know you're not able to sit down to read for 30 minutes and that day you sat down to read for 1 hour, be happy. Even if your teachers and friends may tell you of people who have read for 24 hours non-stop, you are not them and you cannot be like them. So strive to be the best version of yourself. Number 3, learn to say no. Sometimes saying no does not mean you're selfish. It just means you're drawing a line which no one is allowed to cross. Just like yes can be the response to a question, no can also be the response. Let me give an instance. If your friend comes to school with a cooler of food, and your friend has finished downloading the food into their tummy, and you come to school with just 200 naira snacks money, and the little you buy, they want to chip in. At that point, saying no does not mean you're selfish. Number 4, do what makes you happy. Ashake in his song, Lonely at the Top, there was this lyrics that got my attention. Pardon my use of pidgin. You can sing along with me if you know it. Waiting you love, oh, no be waiting I love, oh. Waiting I love, I go do, I'm with all my heart, oh. Oh yeah, pause it. Now, you're singing this song every day, and you're still following your friends to do what they love. All your friends in your park love dancing. Okay, let me join them and dance. You love singing. When you call them, come, let's go sing. They're like, that's not what I love, so I'm not going to go for it. And you're not going to do what you love just because you don't have anyone to accompany you. You don't have anyone to walk with you. If I walk alone, they'll say I don't have friends. If I walk alone, they'll feel I'm lonely. But anything you know that you will do that will not give you innermost satisfaction, then don't do it. Number 5, embrace your physical appearance. Let me tell you guys a short story. There was a girl, she was in JS3. She was chubby but not so fat. Her classmates always used this as an excuse and they called her fat. Anytime they call her fat, she would go to a corner of the class and she would cry. Why was she crying? Because they said something about her that she refused to acknowledge. Because they said the truth about her that she didn't want to hear. And her classmates continue saying this. Normally, when you're in a banter with your classmates, they don't necessarily say what is true, but rather what would hurt you. When the girl heard this thing, she was crying. And during the long holiday, after they had written their junior WAEC, she made up her mind that she was going to do something about it. She was going to change herself, so those her classmates would call her beautiful. So they would say she's fine. Anytime her mom calls her to come and eat, she would eat a little portion of food and say she wasn't hungry. She would go to her room and do various sorts of rigorous exercises, from push-up to sit-up to handstand, come with me, just because she wanted to be slim. After the holiday, her aim was finally accomplished. When it was the first day of resumption, she carried her bag to school, very excited to go to school, and she was skipping. When she entered into her class, her classmate looked at her and said, "You're too slim. You were finer when you were fat." When she heard this, she sat down to herself and she thought, when I was fat, these people said I'm too fat. Now I'm slim. They say I'm finer when I'm fat. She sat down, and after that day, she made up her mind that she wasn't going to change who she was for anybody. She was going to acknowledge herself because that's what makes her unique. That's what makes her happy. After that day, she started eating normal portions of food, and within time, she became normal. When she entered her school and her classmates looked at her and called her fat again, she looked at them and said, "You will not understand." And it was true. They wouldn't understand. If you say you're not going to love yourself because you're short, they say it's an insult. It's just a description. Just like when they say write a composition about your mother, your father, and you write she's tall, you can as well write she's short. So many of us here know about Aki and Popo. How many of us know about them? Majority of them, they use what people saw as shortcomings to distinguish themselves in the entertainment industry. When most people will be hiding because they are short, they stood up and they came out. Now they are making waves. If you say you're not going to love yourself because your classmates say you're too dark, tell them black is beautiful. If they say you're too fair, tell them I look like the morning sun. If they say you're too tall, tell them I can look down to see my subject. If they say you're too short, tell them most rich people ain't tall either. And if they say you're too slim, tell them that's how God created me. If they say you're too fat, tell them I look healthy. If you say you're not going to acknowledge yourself because you're disabled, my form teacher here, Mr. Tassier, once told me that it means you're differently enabled. There are things others can do that you can't, and there are things you can do that others can't. Thank you very much, sir, for that. Now, embrace your physical appearance. Number 6, believe in yourself. There's this dynamic jingle that got my attention. You can sing along with me. There are moments in life where you're just so scared and you feel like just giving up. Oh, but I know Milk is saying, we know that you can do it. Believe in yourself and go for it. Go for it. Don't mind my voice, I'm not a great singer, so I'm just trying. So if you say you're not going to do something because you're scared, when you want to do it, so many questions run through your head. What if, what if, what if? What if they laugh at me? What if I faint on the stage? What if I'm not good enough? But if you faint, last they will carry you, right? If you flop and people laugh at you, tell yourself that out of those people that are laughing at me, there are some of them that gave up before they even tried. Greatness is not a destination, but a process. You have to strive to be great. You don't have to be great to start. There's this story of a fox. He wanted to reach a grape and he couldn't reach it. And he told himself, I'm sure those grapes weren't sweet. That's how some of us are. When we want to do a particular thing, an opportunity that comes up, and because we are too scared to do it, we give ourselves excuses. I have a busy schedule. I have homeworks to do. I have chores to do. I have assignments. My mom will call me for this. My dad will call me for that. Your mind is believing that, but you don't believe it. If your mind gives you 100 reasons for you to give up, give your mind a 1001 reason for you not to give up. If you're waiting for that beholder, before you realize you're beautiful, you're going to wait for eternity. If you're waiting for perfection before you start, you'll never start. If you're waiting for someone to believe in you before you believe in yourself, you're wasting your time. But irrespective of all this, be the kind of person that will forgive themselves, learn to say no, appreciate their effort, do what makes them happy, embrace their physical appearance, and believe in themselves, because that's what self-love is all about. Thank you.